Alright, g'day guys. It's been 6 weeks since we've been back, something like that. Mark asked me to do a quick thing on what I thought of the ride. I've sort of basically been watching all of all the videos Mark's been putting up, and the debriefing one he just put on, which is like he pretty much covered everything. There's not much I can really add to it, but I know a couple of fellas asked for what my opinion was of the ride, just a bit of an idea, so I thought I'd just go through a couple of things. The biggest issue I had was the bloody helmet. That bird strike on the second day broke the visor off the helmet, so for the whole ride I had to put up with the sun. When the sun sort of got to 8, 9 o'clock, the sun would normally be above the peak, but I'd put up with it for about another hour. And the same in the afternoon when the sun started coming down. I copped the sun from about 4 o'clock onwards, which was a bit of a nuisance, but I got used to it. Just plenty of sunscreen and the glasses on, and that took care of that. The old November's happening at the moment, so I've got the old couple of weeks growth happening. Mrs. hates beards, so thought I'd grow a beard as well. Just decided I'm just not going to shave. I'm only going to shave under my neck, and that's it for the month. Then I'll just take it all off at the end of the month. I've got a bit of a list here. I just got to try to write things down, thinking, what can I add to it? So Simpson Desert, basically the ride was all good. I'm not big on highways, on the bitumen, long distance riding. Sort of doesn't do a great deal for me. I'm just not a bitumen sort of person, I suppose. But even some of the tracks are sort of just go forever and ever. I'm sort of more I just like getting into all the mountain stuff and a bit more technical riding. But anyway, it's all good. When we got into the Simpson Desert, we probably could have done a few pre-rides before we went. Found a few sandy spots and everything, but all in all, I think Mark went all right. He had a few issues to start with, but that's sort of surprised me a little bit. I was expecting to get a little bit further maybe, but just the soft sand and everything. Everyone's different. He just just struggled really badly, and just had to decide. I was sort of following him. Well, actually, he was following me to start with because I was having lots of fun, as you do, and I just stopped, where is he? And then I'd wait for him to catch up and then keep going, sort of thing. But once he started struggling, I just had to stay behind because it was easier. Like, if he came off, he had, he was just exhausted and struggling to pick the bike up. So if he came off, I'd get up behind him and give him a hand to get the bike back up and keep going. And as he got more and more exhausted, it's one of those things where you do, like just keep following him. He's sort of a hill in front of me, basically, a dune in front. So I'd get on top of a dune and I'd watch him going down, he'd work his way up to the next dune, and hopefully he'd get to the top of the dune without having to push it up, or without having to paddle it up with your feet. And watch him, and he'd sit on the top of the next dune and he'd sit there for a couple of minutes, have a bit of a break. So I'd turn the engine off and wait for him. And as the time went on, the waiting became a little bit longer and a little bit longer, and so I'd just sort of sit behind him, and he'd sort of catch up to him when I knew. I could see him take his helmet off, so I'd just catch up, and but that's the end. There wasn't much shade. It was quite a hot day, and when you're exhausted, it's pretty hard to sort of cool down, and drinking plenty of water, heaps of water. That's all you can do. Just drink lots and lots of water. So I just stay behind. Can't get in front because you're just going to come back anyway. Because you just don't know what he's up to. So I'd sit back and just let him go, and just after he's had a break for a few minutes, come on, and just sort of prod and poke a little bit, get him going. When we got to we stayed that first night in the desert. I can't remember which day it was, but we stayed in the desert one night, and that night I just thought to myself, well, got the rig road up ahead, which is 60 k's up the road. I thought, well, the only way we're going to do this, if it's going to work, is to basically hit the road in the morning, daybreak, and I mean, as soon as it's light, and hit the track, which we did, but we didn't get to a big road until about 11 o'clock in the afternoon or something, like in the morning. And I thought, that night I thought, I need to get there at 9 o'clock. If we get there at 9 o'clock, then we can keep going, because it means it's getting easier, and he's riding, he's going no worries. But we didn't get there until 11. That was it, that was the cut-off point. So we took the clay capped track, which is basically sort of clay underneath the track. They've built up a clay base for it, and then the sand sits on top of that. So you only sink down so far, but it's got a bottom in it, so you can only, so it's a lot easier to ride. So we hit that and had to do an extra 200 k's to get to Mungaretti, or 200 k's to get to the Birdsville track, and then another 100 down to Mungaretti. So it's 300 k's on top of that. So it's 360 k day it was. And a lot of sand. We had 3 dunes because we didn't sort of, a bit slow. So we didn't. I knew that we had to get to the Warburton Highway before dark, because there's no way we're going to cross those things in the dark. It's just too much. But sort of pushing Mark, pushing. A couple of times I just shot in front of him, and then just I'd get up the road 5 k's or whatever and sit back and just relax and wait for him. And hopefully he wasn't going to take too long. It was probably easier to stay behind them. It's easier to stay behind somebody and push them along than it is to go in front and wait. Then you wonder what they're up to, and you might have to go back and find them, sort of thing. Anyway, so yeah, it got dark, and we didn't hit those tracks until we crossed the last couple of dunes in the dark. And they were big dunes too. I knew they would be. The last 3 just to get on this bloody track. Because basically, we're still crossing the desert, going west and east, and the Warburton Highway runs between the dunes, all the way back. So once we got in there, I knew we were right, but we had to get there. So those last 3 dunes, of course they were big bastards. We got over them though, it's different, like, because pretty much the last couple of dunes we were on, we weren't sure. I knew that I could tell with GPS the track was, sort of 500 metres up ahead, but you don't know how many dunes there are between 500 metres and them. It could be 5 or 6 dunes. So so we were on that second last dune, and sort of looking around and just watching the sunset, because it's getting pretty dark, and just thinking, this is good shit. I don't want to be out here. I mean, it's just, it's nice. It's very hard to explain, but it's just, everything's red, good sunsets. Picked up Mark's little quail that was strapped to his tank. That was lying on the dune, on top of one of the dunes, where he nearly got left behind. Once we hit the Warburton track, we were right all the way back to Mungaretti, which was a good reception walking into Mungaretti. That's the other thing that guys didn't really sort of get to see. The Mungaretti pub, we got there at about 12:30 at night or something like that. And it should have been closed, but there just happened to be a bit of a do on, the local blokes had done their first muster, the cattle muster. They were in there on the piss from about midday. And they were all blind. We walked in, they basically they all turned around and basically said, "Where the fuck have you blokes been?" And they were over, big handshakes, "Give them a beer." So that was it. We were in there until 2:30 in the morning talking and yapping, 5 a sauce, and it's a good bunch of blokes. As you get in those places, they're all really good. So got Mungaretti. We didn't take cameras in or anything like that. But that's sort of another sort of thing that we could improve on. There's no doubt about that. And same as Birdsville. When we got to Birdsville, we didn't take the cameras into the pub or anything like that. Took some photos, but that's about it. It's just I don't know. I think we're just sort of over it for the time being. Over the riding bit, just wanted to relax and have a few beers and not have to worry about anything. What else is on my list? So basically, I heard there's a thing that a couple of blokes were left or there's a group of blokes going through the Simpson Desert crossing, and a few of them struggled, and their mates gave them some water and said, "See you later," pissed off. I mean, it doesn't matter how many blokes you leave in there, you could leave a dozen blokes in there, they all run out of water, they're all going to die. So, I mean, crazy, right, So, it just goes to show, you just got to we basically decided to do this ride together, and we do it together. That part of the ride was 2 days of a 12, 13 day trip. So, you know, we completed the whole ride. There's one day we missed out on, the second day of that crossing back to Birdsville, but instead we picked up a day at Tamungarani and a day to Birdsville and had a good night at Tamungarani. So, you know, so those sort of memories you can't, you can't get rid of them. So Mark, I mean, he's, you know, out in the middle of nowhere, it just hit him big time. Well, he had no idea what he's in for. He knew that. I mean, he had a rough idea. We both did, and I had a rough idea, you know. But I don't think he's, you know, that we're going to get exhausted like that. But it happened, and you know, and then some of the best times. I mean, he hated it at the time, but now he's home. I'm sure he's bloody every day goes past. He bloody enjoys it more and more. You know, those sort of memories. You know, the unknown and all that. You only do it once because he'll go back again one day maybe, but he'll know what to expect and you know, it's just different when you know what you're in for. When you don't know what you're in for, it's good because you get those, you know, peaks and troughs emotionally as you go through things. So, you know, yeah. So you basically, yeah, we sort of did it together. So it's only one day we missed out on that bit. But, you know, I would have liked to have gone across, and I want to do it again one day, no doubt. Yeah, apart from that, in Birdsville, the rest of the trip was pretty much as planned. Went through everything. Cordillo Downs Road was just graded, so that was a bit of a bonus. We didn't have any, yeah, it's very rough, big rocks, but they nowhere near as bad as it usually is, apparently. So, yeah, so I wanted to try that again one day when it's bad. So, well, open. Anyway, the wind from Broken Hill, the last day at Broken Hill, oh, the wind, 700 k's back to Bendigo, and it's just blowing us sideways, all the way down into it. Oh, it's just crazy. Bloody wind, I'm over it. You know, the long distance riding, sort of just, you know, straight roads and that. It's just, yeah, straight roads. Okay, safari tank. Actually, at the moment, I don't know if it's changed shape or anything, but at the moment, my bloody headstand here is actually hit the tank when I lock it either side, so hits that side as well. So I don't know if it's shifted or anything, I'll sort it out, but it's only barely touching. It's no real issue. It doesn't really worry me. Yeah. But apart from that, Mark said about the food. Yeah, definitely concur with Mark. When you're out in the middle of nowhere, you can get those little cans out to rip open like beans and fish and stuff like that. Beautiful. And just easy, 2-minute food. Mark was, yeah, he bought a few little packs that he'd have to cook up, so that's just, yeah, when he was exhausted that he had no hope of getting that into him. So really short, quick, easy stuff, that's all you want. You don't want to be stuffing around too much. Yeah, if you did it again, yeah, sport vehicles would be good, you know, but they're too easy, you know, it makes it a bit easier, I suppose. Sport vehicle would be good as far as taking fuel. I mean, it depends. I mean, I prefer to do it like we did it. Yeah, I'd probably just do it at a time of the year. I mean, that time when we did it, we got to 36 or 37 degrees those couple of days. The week before that, it was mid-20s. The week after it was, you know, high 20s. So it's just timing, that's all it is, you know, when you're there. So I'd probably do it in July when you're looking at low to mid-20s. Easier weather-wise. Should only be 2 days crossing. Should only take 2 days to get through it. You know, just to get skills up. 2 days, take shiploads more water anyway. If I took a sport vehicle, I'd probably take the KTM paddles on it. But then I'll probably bloody hurt myself doing it because you just, you know, you absolutely fly, you get across in a day. And but you probably end up bloody landing on the roof with 4-wheel drive coming the other way. That's the only problem. You get some airborne over some of those bloody dunes I did. But yeah, but all in all, it was a really good ride. 13 days, went all the way, did whatever, you know, did everything we wanted to do. Yeah, so that's about all I can pretty much add. Everything else has been, yeah, good. The bike's just fantastic. You know, Mark told me about, you know, these mirrors, I'm really happy with them. They're staying on forever, these things. They're just really good. Anyone goes through the Simpson Desert next year or so and they find a little blinker here, it's probably buried in the sand somewhere on the, you know, wherever the hell it is, send it to me. I'll save me buying another one. Yeah, put a new tyre on it, it's got a new tyre, 606 back on, because they're just bloody damn good tyres. So I've been on one ride since I've been back. Went for a spin. Yeah, so I'll stick to the 606s. Apart from that, everything's good. So, yeah. So all I can say is if anyone goes and does anything, you know, it doesn't matter where you go. You go in the middle of nowhere, a group of blokes or whatever, just don't leave each other, just stay together. That's what you got to do. That's what you have to do. You know, those blokes that bloody did that thing in the desert and left those two fellas, they had to be airlifted out. They wouldn't be feeling too good at the moment, I don't think. They'd be, you know, they wouldn't be class members, mates. Anyway, yeah. So hopefully we should end up on another adventure in the near, not too distant future with a bit of luck. As far as going through the Simpson again, I probably won't be doing it next year, probably the year after, maybe in the middle of the year. Might take go with a bigger group, you know, 4 or 5 blokes, and we'll skill up before we go, just to make sure everyone knows what they're in for. Take a heap of stuff, and spend more time in the pub along the way, and yeah, and have a good time like we did last time. So yeah. So apart from that, I'm signing off. Yeah. So as Mark is saying, I think it's got to. Here we go. Keep on riding.